Good morning, Internet. It is September 7th. I'm over here at the local gas station. I just put some air in my tires. Always want to check the air in your tires for proficient motorcycling. Anyway, as much as I would like to ride out to West Virginia today, the weather forecast isn't really in support of that. So instead, I'll be doing one of my better than nothing rides out to Manassas and the west part of Manassas. Bristow Station, Nokesville, maybe Catlett, I don't know, somewhere around there. So, let's do it. There's one thing that distinguishes motorcycling from car driving. It's trash trucks. I think I have smelled more trash trucks in the last 5 months than I have the previous 10 years. Day. This is Brentsville, Virginia, a cool little historic town. They preserved a number of the buildings here. I believe this used to be the county seat of Prince William County. I was last here, oh gosh, 9 years ago I think it was. Brentsville was the Prince William County seat during the Civil War. In response to John Brown's raid on Harper's Ferry in 1859, the Prince William Cavalry, Company A, was formed here on the courthouse lawn in January 1860. The ladies of Brentsville made a flag and presented it to the company. Other Confederate units from Prince William County, such as the Ewell Guards, were organized and drilled here. Like many Virginia towns, Brentsville suffered heavily at the hands of both armies. Confederate General Epahunton, a Brentsville resident lawyer, had his house and other buildings destroyed. The Hampton Legion, among other units, was posted here on scouting missions, and several homes and churches served as hospitals. Brentsville was founded in 1820 to be the Prince William County seat. The town fully never recovered from the war, and the economic center of the county shifted to Manassas because of the railroad junction there. In 1893, the county seat moved to Manassas. You know, it occurred to me, and I recall thinking this last time I was here, if you wanted to film a local production of Tom Sawyer or something, you would probably do it here. Because this place just looks 19th century. Not to the extent that Harper's Ferry looks 19th century, but it's pretty impressive nonetheless. Check out this area behind me. You know what used to happen here? Hangings! That's right, the gallows was located here. Let's read from this plaque. The county gallows was located in this area. The gallows was erected when needed, then disassembled. It was a grim symbol of the ultimate price of lawbreaking. Gallows were widely used in America to execute the convicted. In 19th century Virginia, the court's jurisdiction was in flux regarding capital punishment. By 1828, capital punishment cases involving white persons were tried in the circuit courts. Slaves and free blacks could still receive capital punishment from the county courts. Death by hanging was meant to be a rapid means of execution. A court-appointed hangman would secure a rope around the prisoner's neck. The other end of the rope was tied around a beam above the prisoner's head. A trap door in the platform was opened under the prisoner's feet, dropping him or her toward the ground. This action would usually break the person's neck quickly, if it was done right. I saw a movie one time about a British professional who was given the responsibility of making sure that the hangings subsequent to the Nuremberg trials were carried out efficiently and professionally. Tim Spall, good actor, great movie, and I can't remember the name of it. I wonder, this isn't gorse, is it? Gorse is also known as Plantagenesta by its Latin name, and Geoffrey Plantagenet, who was a Duke of Anjou, used to wear a sprig of it in his helmet back in the, oh gosh, what was it? 11th century, 12th century? From whence the Plantagenet family were born. Geoffrey Plantagenet was my 26th or 25th great-grandfather. He had a son, Henry II of England, who had a son you've probably heard of, Richard the Lionhearted. But I wonder if this is gorse. The public lot. The public lot was the center of any county seat. Public lots were to be planted with trees and kept as a place for the people of the county to meet and confer together. This lot was the town's recreation area and the center of economic activity. Property and estate auctions occurred in front of the courthouse. One-room school. We have a one-room school near where I live. This school was built in 1928 over the original location of the county clerk's office. It operated until 1944, which is roughly the same as the little red schoolhouse near me. The one-room building served local white children in grades 1 through 5. Before its construction, children attended school in the courthouse. Oh, I see they have it open for displays. The 1822 tavern site. Had you stood in this spot between 1822 and about 1900, you would have seen a large structure and several outbuildings, all bustling with activity. This is the site of the Brentsville Tavern, also known as the Brentsville Hotel. The Union Church. Brentsville Union Church was built circa 1880. The church sits on a lot deeded to the trustees of the Union Church in 1871 by George M. Goodwin, who owned Tavern Square. It was erected for the use of the congregation of the Methodist Episcopal Church South, the Presbyterian Episcopalian, the new and both branches of the old school Baptist churches, worshiping in Brentsville. A real group there. All right. Get on the bike and go elsewhere. This antique store used to be owned by a granddaughter of one of the guys who created scouting in the United States. Confederate cemeteries. During the late summer of 1861, Confederate troops from Alabama, Mississippi, North Carolina, Virginia, Tennessee, and camped in the vicinity of this place, Bristow Station. Typhoid, measles, and other contagious diseases quickly swept through these camps, decimating many of the regiments. The colonel of the 6th North Carolina wrote that his regiment averaged about 1 per day in deaths. Each regiment established its own separate burial ground. Military homage was paid by comrades, discharging a musketry volley over the grave of the deceased at the interment, and this could be heard daily throughout the camping grounds of the entire brigade. Boy, there's a real morale maker, huh? The following spring, Union troops passing through the area counted nearly 75 graves in the 10th Alabama Cemetery and 128 graves in 2 enclosures for the Mississippi soldiers. Now this is pretty impressive. I've seen huts erected before, replica huts, but I don't think I've ever seen one quite this good. maybe at Petersburg some years ago. Federal winter quarters. In the winter of 1863 to 1864, thousands of Pennsylvania soldiers encamped on the farms and woodlots surrounding Bristow Station. With easy access to the Orange and Alexandria Railroad, a pair of north-south and east-west roads, and a source of water, this Bristow proved to be an excellent campsite. Were it not for the fact that disease was rampant, as we read in that other plaque. With the army in one position for an extended period of time, the soldiers encamped here quickly built log cabins to replace their small canvas tents. While there was no standard hut, most soldiers learned that the most convenient type of hut was a small rectangular building that housed 4 to 8 soldiers. The completed huts were arranged in company streets, with the officers' huts at the head of each street. I'm in Catlett, Virginia, mainly because I like the name Catlett. I don't know if there's a doglet. Also, whenever I see one of these Civil War trails signs, I usually follow it. So, what's this one talking about? Catlett Station, Stuart's Revenge. August 22nd, 1862 was a day of surprises in Fauquier County, most of which were provided by the Confederate General Jeb Stuart and his 1,500 cavalrymen. Their target was the lightly guarded Union Supply Depot here at Catlett Station. And by the way, I think historic Catlett Station was right there where the railroad tracks cross this road. Look what I saw on the side of the road. Wow. Harley Duo Glide. What year is this? North Dakota plates. Kickstart. Oh, what the heck. Oh boy, that's going to be an uncomfortable ride. There's a solid metal-to-metal connection there. Yikes. Okay. Well, I had a good meal at this Italian pizzeria, Grioli's. I think this place is called Bealton. Anyway, the next stop, as I determined when I was in the restaurant, is going to be the historical hamlet of Brandy Station. I'm at Brandy Station, a Civil War site. This is a stone in memory of Major John Pelham, born 1838 in Calhoun County, Alabama, mortally wounded March 17, 1863, near Kelly's Ford, Virginia. Like Marshal Ney, one of the bravest of the brave. That building is the Graffiti House from 1854, or 8, I think it's 8. It's called the Graffiti House because soldiers drew in it on the walls, and that's still preserved. Unfortunately, the Graffiti House is not open. It is open on Saturday and Sunday. Well, it's 1:20. I've gone 73 miles. I think I'm going to backtrack now, head back to Manassas and back home. The weather has been clear. No signs of thunderstorms, even though that's what the forecast called for. So I looked out. A few roads away from where I was, following Civil War trail signs, and that leads me here, to this field. That is, in fact, the Battle of Brandy Station battlefield. A walking trail, 1 mile path. I won't be doing that. My new thing this year is stanchion art. At least that's what I call it. It's occurred to me while on the motorcycle in country places that I like driving by and seeing scenes like this, where you have this clearing in the land and you see a line of stanchions going off into the horizon. Off into the horizon. Big industrial giants providing electrical power. What? Another Harley dealership? Oh, why not? Maybe the Road King I want is in there. Let's go take a look. I've noticed with Harley Davidson dealerships is that it seems like there are a lot of former Marines selling Harleys. And I encountered a new twist today. I asked a woman inside if she was in the Marine Corps and she said no, but I gave birth to one. Does that count? Ha! Well, it's almost 4 o'clock and I've gone 125 miles today. So it was actually somewhat better than a better than nothing ride. A lot like last week, in fact. Good ride today. I saw things I've never seen before, and I came back safe and whole. So, good Friday, good ride. See you next time.